Well, this is John Black, super chemist. I don't know, I think we're on 23 of Is the Deep State a Monarchy? We're trying to get patterns of this bloodline, right? So now we're on, who is this, John Kerry or something? Let's see here. John Kerry. Look how many boats he got. How many grandfathers came over on a boat of his. They have a royal bloodline. Actually, I don't know if they have royal bloodlines. I'm guessing they do because I never looked into them. But he goes down through all the kings. King Henry III, King Edward I. Look at all these Magna Carta people. Let's see how many we got. 8? Oh, we already said 13. 13 people. Then you got every king. And remember, he's not first or second cousins to these people. King Edward, King Henry III. And they always have some kind of sometimes they have France kings in there. But William the Conqueror, King Robert I, Alfred the Great, all the way back to Alfred the Great, the first English king. And then it goes back, the bloodline goes back to Charlemagne, the king of the Franks. He's got a bunch of people to sign the Constitution, and they all have the same thing. The Magna Carta, the U.S. Constitution, the independence, independence thing, the Declaration of Independence. They all have it. They all have this. The first king, Alfred the Great. They all have this guy, Charlemagne. When they're just, when they're a mega royal. Okay, you know who the mega royals are. You know what I mean? Now let's see here. Let's go to one more. Right? Who's that? Bill Gates. Remember? Let's see how many boats he has. How many people came over on the Mayflower, not the Mayflower, but these boats between 1635 and 1640. It's like it's literally a 5-year window for all these grandparents to come over, right? Look at this. It just keeps going on and on. Then you got the Magna Carta. What do you got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, he doesn't have that many Magna Cartas. Maybe I'm making too big a deal out of the Magna Carta. But look, he goes all the way back to William the Conqueror, right? He's got King Robert I. He signed the Magna Carta. Goes all the way back to, again, Alfred the Great, the first king of England. And then the bloodline goes all the way back to Charlemagne, the king of the Franks. Do you notice a pattern? Because I'm noticing that all of the people that are mega royalty, they all seem to go back to this. Alfred the Great and Charlemagne. Okay? So I looked up Charlemagne, right? Get up there. Come on. I looked up famous king of Charlemagne, right? Remember, it's always got, a lot of times they have that French king, King Louis, right? Another French king. Look, he's got William the Conqueror. He's got the 12 or 13 people who did the Magna Carta. He's got all the kings. Not all the kings, but a lot of the famous ones. King Henry III, King Edward I. And keep in mind, these are grandchildren we're talking about, not cousins, first, second, third cousins. King Henry VIII. I just noticed there's no Alfred the Conqueror. So maybe the person that's related to Charlemagne that went to England to have sex there and have kids. Maybe it happened. This is the oldest king, William the Conqueror, that I see on this list so far. Right? So that must be where he started coming over with his ancestors and having sex with the kings of England. It was William the Conqueror. Okay? And that's all the things for the kings. Right? But look how many people came over on the boat, too, with this guy. Oh. Okay, these are the people that I should care about who came over on the boat. Because they're related directly to Charlemagne. I should investigate these names right here. Okay, so here's some more boats. See, look at that, all them. Look at that, even more. These are all people, his relatives came over on the boat to the United States. Okay, that's about it. So, I'm wondering, I want to find out, because I don't know anything about kings and their bloodline, and who, you know, everyone knows the main people, you know, like Queen Elizabeth or something, or, you know. But nobody, there's a lot of kings that we don't know about because we're American. You know what I mean? We don't care about their kings. But I'm trying to learn it, you know what I mean? So I can figure out where this bloodline, like which bloodline is important and which bloodline is not as important as being a royal, you know what I mean? Let's see. And remember how I said, like, you know, I want you to think about this. Let's say you got 20 people, right? 200 years ago, 20 people everyone's related to right today. Every 20 years you would triple your, you know, those 20 couples, right? If you start out with 20 couples, if they all have 3 kids, that'd be 60 new, you know, 60 new people in the next generation, right? If you did that again, it'd be 180, 540, you know, all the way up to 200 years, and you would end up with 4 million people, right? So I want you to think about it. If 20 people or 20 bloodlines are involved in this, okay, from the get-go, there's actually 4 million people out there that are related to these people with this bloodline, okay? You might say, oh, that's a lot of people. Of course they're getting, yeah, but they're all of them are getting into the president. All of them, the wives, everybody. It comes to a point when you're like, I mean, I'm up to literally almost every wife, okay, of the president, all right? I'm up to, like, you know, there's only like 6 or 5 presidents who were not related to the royal blood. And at that time, either the vice president or his wife was, though. 100% of the time, other than Trump, all the way from Biden, all the way down to George Washington and everyone in between. 100% of the time, there's either been a royal who is the president, the vice president, both, or the president's wife was a royal. That goes all the way back to Charlemagne, right? Now I want you to see and look at the list, okay? The people at the left, those are, first of all, everyone on the list is someone who is, you know, has a bloodline. And I'm going to call it a mega bloodline or a super royal bloodline because it goes all the way back to Alfred the Great, who was the very first king of England. And it even goes past that to the Charlemagne, the king of the Franks. Okay, all of them. Every last one of them. Now these people on the left, those are all presidents, except for these 2 at the top are Bill Gates and Anderson Cooper, and there's a couple vice presidents in there, but that weren't president. But keep in mind, most presidents have been vice presidents, so most of this list is vice presidents, you know, and presidents. Most of them have been both. And then there's a couple down here that are just 4 of them, I think, that are just, you know, like Pete Buttigieg, who is and John Kerry, you know, the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Transportation and that. But anyways, and then there's a couple on the back that are also presidents that I ran out of room, right? That's how many? All of them, first of all, like I said, pretty much all of them have the royal bloodline. But these are the ones that have the royal bloodline. There's only been like 4. I should have counted them up before I did the video. When I do on my next edit, I'll count these up and I'll tell you how many. I mean, it's like now this on the whatever on the right here. First two up here, John Hinckley and Marilyn Monroe. I'm sure you know those names. But yeah, these are all so far the ones that I found. Okay, keep in mind this is the list of the people that I, found so far. It doesn't mean that the other ones that I haven't looked at aren't also having the same bloodline that goes all the way back. Okay. But yeah, these are the wives of the presidents. Not the vice presidents. I didn't look into them. The presidents. Now I have arrows pointing to the president that they, whatever, you know what I mean? Like here's Herbert Hoover, and it goes up to Lewis Hoover. You know what I mean? You got Warren Harding, goes up to Florence Harding. These are all these people. They're not just having the bloodline all the way back to this Charlemagne King and the other guy, right? They're grandkids. They're not first cousins, second cousins. They're direct descendants all the way through all the bloodlines, all the way back to him. Every last one of these people. All these presidents and vice presidents, and then here's just some names, some weird, to show that, they're not all deep state. They just track the people that are, there's a deep state within a deep state. That'd be the top royals, the actual king that runs the freaking country. He keeps track of all the bloodlines. And if he sees somebody like Justin Bieber's on here, Beyonce, Justin Bieber was not rich. I think he comes from either middle class or like a upper lower class, type deal. He's not. I don't think his family was rich. But yet, at 10 years old, he puts a video on the YouTube and becomes a billionaire overnight, or not a billionaire, but who he was overnight. Yeah, so they don't all, just like John Hinckley. And, these people like that, they're unaware of the deep state. They just swoop in when they need them, you know what I mean? Kevin Spacey's on it. Here, let me read some of them. Rand Paul, I think he's always fighting against the deep state. He might actually be a normal person. That maybe they tried to bring him in the fold, or they're all corrupt, all these politicians except Trump. They're all corrupt. But he might be just a puppet, you know what I mean? And he's that much of a puppet. But look, Justin Trudeau, the Canada guy, the president of Canada, Jim Carrey. Remember Jim Carrey? All of a sudden he got all depressed and he started saying weird stuff that we don't exist, nothing is true, nothing is. I think he was brought into the whole deep state, you know what I mean? Or big enough where he was just, whoa, this is so overwhelming and so insane that nothing really matters, that these people just, you know what I mean? Watch some of the, if you're interested, tell me. I'll get out some things that he's said, where he's walking down a red carpet and they're like, how you doing or whatever. He's like, nothing matters. We don't even exist. All of this is just a big hoax. It's a big, reality is just a joke that we just think it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? Why does he say it? Why did all of a sudden he say that and he's on this list? Boris Johnson, the UK president guy. Meghan Markle. Remember Meghan Markle? She married her cousin, Prince Harry. And he's probably on this list too, Prince Harry, now that I think about it. They're both on this list. I'll have to look into that. Johnny Carson, the guy who decides which celebrities are going to make it. You get onto his show back in the day, that means you made it. That was it. You definitely made it in the business, show business. Clint Eastwood. Oh, the 15th Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Trudeau. Get it, Trudeau? Justin Trudeau is the 23rd Prime Minister. Oh, ran out of time.